Good evening and welcome in. You may remember the crackling fire behind me from laughatpat Christmas specials of past, and definitely not from being ripped off of YouTube. You may be thinking to yourself, but it's July. And that's right, we're celebrating Christmas in July. Now, why are we celebrating Christmas in July? It's definitely not because I've run out of ideas for new videos, and I'm desperate to fill some content while I'm gone all summer fishing. It's because I'm in the holiday spirit, and I want to get on board with whatever marketing team came up with the idea of doing a second Christmas in July to sell you more crap that you don't need. So here we are, celebrating Christmas in July, whatever the fuck that is. And we're gonna celebrate by reading one of my favorite childhood Christmas books, The Dog Who Found Christmas. I read this every Christmas in my childhood growing up, despite the fact that it is a morose, depressing book that when I read it to my girlfriend last year, made her literally weep. So, let's get in the Christmas in July mood and read a little bit of this book, shall we? The Dog Who Found Christmas. When Buster was a little puppy, he had to leave his mother and go to a new home. At first, his new family petted him and called him cute. But as Buster grew from a puppy into a little dog, things began to go wrong. He tried his best to please, but his owners yelled at him when he jumped on them or chewed things. "Bad dog," they shouted. "You're more trouble than you're worth." And so here we see a very depressed puppy with a shitty human owner, because honestly, so far my takeaway from this book is fuck these humans. You didn't train your dog well, and now it's acting out, and that's on you, okay? And you don't put down Buster. Nobody puts Buster in a corner. Let's continue. One cold winter's day, his family took Buster to a part of town where he had never been before. They pushed him out of the car and left him on the edge of a wide, busy road. They didn't want Buster anymore. I have to laugh a little bit because this is a children's book. This is a children's book for Christmas. And they're just like pushing him out of a moving car at Christmas time and abandoning him. And look at the face. They're abandoning this face. This is the face they're abandoning. And look at even his little bunny rabbit looks sad. Like everything about this is just like to try to depress you. And every Christmas as a child, I was just like, yay, I love The Dog Who Found Christmas, or whatever, what is it? Yeah, The Dog Who Found Christmas. The cars raced by all day, but nobody noticed poor Buster. It grew dark, and the car headlights shone like huge, fierce eyes. Buster was very frightened. He wondered why his family didn't come back for him. He wanted to go home, but he didn't know where home was. Yeah, I mean, fuck these people who left this dog. I mean, look at poor Buster. First of all, he's adorable. Second of all, who abandons their dog at Christmas? And then who, like, okay, this is maybe gonna be a little bit elitist or classist, but just judging by the inside of the people's home from the illustration, they looked like they know better than to just leave a dog on the side of the road. Like, bring it to a shelter. You know, you were rich enough to know that you should probably bring your dog to a shelter. Like, I don't know. I just think of like leaving a dog at the side of a road as a little bit of a poor person thing, and they should know. I mean, it should be a no person thing. Let's be honest. I don't fuck with abandoning dogs. Just take it to a shelter at least. Anyways, and then poor Buster is just frightened and alone. He just wants to go home, but he doesn't know where home is. That's everybody's worst nightmare. Without thinking, Buster rushed out into the road. Screech! 2 cars swerved to avoid him. The drivers leaned out of their windows and yelled at the little dog. Buster's lost. And he just wants someone to love him, and so he just runs out into the road. He doesn't know better. He just wants to go home. Christmas. This story brought to you by Christmas. Christmas for small children. This message brought to you by my childhood's Christmas. Every Christmas, I read this and thought, holiday spirit. Buster ran into a yard and lay trembling under a bush. He waited and waited. When his heart stopped thumping so loudly, he came out. It was very cold, and he was hungry. So here's, again, depressing ass Buster, lying in a bush, hungry, cold, almost died. He had a near-death experience by car. His family has just abandoned him at Christmas time, in the middle of winter. They didn't take him to a shelter. They didn't try to, give him to a friend. They just left him on the side of the road. Christmas. Buster crept up to the front door of a house and scratched at it. The door opened, and a woman looked down at Buster. But before she could say anything, a huge snarling dog appeared from behind her and thrust its head into Buster's face. "Go away before I bite you," he growled. "This is my home." And poor little Buster just, "Hello, someone love me," at the door. "Hello." And then this mean bully of a big dog. See, everybody's so pro big dog, but look at this big bully of a dog being like so insecure he can't even share his home for a night or two with a poor stray puppy. Stupid insecure big dog. Team little dogs. Suddenly, the big dog broke free and chased Buster down the path, snapping at his short, stumpy tail. Buster just managed to squeeze through a hole in the hedge before the big dog could nip him again. So, Buster escaped. The big dog is chasing this little dog, and he doesn't even notice there's a rabbit, which I feel like as a dog is more exciting. And yeah, what the fuck is wrong with this big dog? This big dog's a dick. Fuck this big dog. I'm pro dog, but I'm not pro this dog. Buster sat on the frosty pavement, remember it is Christmas, licking his sore tail. He wondered where should he go. He trotted on and hesitated at another open gate. There were lights sparkling on a tree in the window. The house looked very cheerful and welcoming. Buster started to walk up the driveway, but he didn't get far. "Scram, you mutt!" Buster looked up. Sitting on the wall above him was a large tabby cat. "My territory," he hissed. The cat showed his claws and his sharp white teeth. "Okay," sighed Buster. "I'll go." Nobody wants me, thought Buster. It started to snow, and Buster's fur grew wetter and wetter. His little body shook with cold. Remember, this is a children's book. Some people were walking down the road, singing. Buster thought if he could move along with them, they might notice him and take him home. Keeping his distance, he followed them. There's Buster, cold, wet, shivering, hungry, just looking for love, following these Christmas carols. Because remember, his family threw him away at Christmas. The singers turned into a driveway. "Silent night, holy night," they sang, as they stood in a circle outside a house. Buster crept among them, wondering if they would notice him, but worrying that if they did, they might tell him to go away. And once again, here we see Buster with the cutest one ear, the universal sign of dog cuteness, one ear down, one ear up. And little gleaming, glowing eyes with the one paw raised up "Someone please notice me, make me warm, love me." And the author's just "You will cry." The door to the house opened and Buster could smell something delicious. His stomach grumbled with hunger. "One for each of you," said a voice, and a hand held out a plate of cookies. Thank you, Mr. Merryweather, said the carolers. And one for the little dog, he added. Finally, someone's fucking nice to Buster. It only took 70% of the book, but now the sweet old Mr. Merryweather wants to give a cookie to Buster. What little dog? Everyone asked. They looked down at their feet. Buster gazed up at them with pleading eyes. Who is he? Where did he come from? The carolers asked. He must be a stray. He looks very hungry, said a little girl, and she gave Buster a cookie. He swallowed it in one gulp. And I mean, look at that fucking face. You're not gonna give that face a cookie? You're gonna throw that face out of your house at fucking Christmas? Fuck people. Dogs forever. Mr. Merryweather came out of the house and looked at Buster. I'll take him, he said. I think he needs a good home, and I've always wanted a dog for Christmas. I always wanted a dog for Christmas. He put out his hand to Buster, but the little dog drew back afraid. Come on, little fellow, said Mr. Merryweather gently. We'll have a good Christmas together, you and I. And Buster's so happy. Someone loves Buster. And there's Mr. Merryweather holding Buster and giving him the love that he deserves. Buster stretched contentedly in front of the fire. His tummy was full, and he felt warm at last. Welcome home, little dog, said Mr. Merryweather. Woof, said Buster. There's old Mr. Merryweather, finally not celebrating Christmas alone, because he got the dog for Christmas he always wanted. And they have each other. Buster found a home. The end. To the incredibly depressing, yet still kind of cute, the dog who found Christmas. Merry Christmas in July to all of you out there. Please take a moment, celebrate Christmas in July by hitting subscribe, smashing the like button, and sharing this video with a friend. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas in July, whatever the fuck that is. And good night.